Welcome to Golf Fundamentals, Pitching Mechanics 101. In this training video, we'll cover the simple mechanics that will help you perfect the pitch shot into the golf green with pinpoint accuracy and gain consistent results. Introduction to pitching. Definition. A pitch shot in golf is an approach stroke in which the ball is lofted to the green with backspin so that the ball rolls very little after landing on the putting surface. A short, inside 30 yards, high trajectory shot played with one of the lofted iron clubs. A common definition has the shot with more air time than ground time, more flight than roll. A player should always pitch the ball when there is an obstacle between themselves and the green or hole, such as a bunker or water hazard, or when the hole location requires a soft landing shot. 1. The stroke is more complex than the one used for chipping the ball. 2. The grip, aim, and setup need to be more exact to produce the desired result. 3. Ball position becomes a much more important factor in the proper execution of the pitch shot. Much easier to strike the ground before striking the ball. 4. Always practice with different lofted clubs from the same distance to learn a sense of range. Factors. Perfect pitch shots are a matter of setting up properly and making a relaxed, rhythmical motion at a good pace. Selecting the club. Considering the many variables before making a club selection by weighing the following. 1. Using a higher lofted club is the easiest way to increase the trajectory of the shot. A. Clubs with 50 degrees of loft or higher are used to get the correct trajectory. 2. Determine how much room is available around the hole to use as a landing area. 3. Current specifications for clubs lean toward using a gap wedge of 52, a sand wedge of 54 or 56, and a lob wedge of 58 to 60 degrees. A. These provide the player with the loft needed to consistently carry the distance needed. B. Find clubs that work for you, the individual, and go after those flag sticks. Practice, 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 and see how defined you can get the small landing zone. Remember up and down in 2. Gripping the club. Carrying the ball further and propelling it at a higher trajectory requires more applied force than can be consistently applied with a single lever motion. It becomes necessary for the player to create a second lever to develop this extra force. Strength and power are not needed for this stroke, so the club should not be held tightly, but the grip should be firm enough for the player to maintain control during the stroke. It is suggested that the player use the same grip for both the full swing and for pitching. The club should be balanced under the pad of the leading hand and rest in the fingers of the trailing hand. Posture and address. The player should set up to the ball with the majority of the body weight on the leading side, 65 to 85%. The width of the stance should be fairly narrow, 3 to 7 inches, but the feet should be spread far enough apart to maintain balance for the length and amount of force the stroke requires. A line running across the toes, knees, and hips will all point slightly open to the target. The player must stand tall from the hips to the ground to establish a balanced position over the middle of the feet. The knees should be flexed slightly to help with the balance and rhythm of the swing. The player's spine angle should be neutral to the ball. The swing center should be centered over the ball, and the hands should be positioned slightly ahead of the ball. Factors. The tilt is always from the hips, and remember to keep the shaft angle leaning slightly forward toward the target. Ball position. The normal basic ball position should be in the middle/front of the stance, off the lead foot's instep. By using this position for all basic pitch shots, the player can establish the familiarity that breeds confidence in playing the shot. This will allow the player to fine-tune the setup and the stroke so that spin and loft match what is needed for stopping breaking power on the green. Factors. Elevation above the putting green will cause the player to use a higher lofted iron and carry a bit further onto the green. Then control the speed of the ball as it begins its descent towards the hole. The pitching motion. The best description of the pitching motion is a smooth, flowing motion in which the club, arms, body work as a single unit. 1. Since the stroke is much shorter than a full swing effort, keep the movement of the body to a minimum but permit it to move with a slight rotation away from the target and back toward the target. 2. A slight transfer of weight from the leading side and then back to the leading side. 3. The motion begins with the arms and shoulders moving the club into the backswing. A. As the arms reach the desired backswing length, they begin to slow, and the shaft will catch up to and pass the hands, causing the wrists to hinge. B. The longer the stroke needed for the shot, the faster the arms move before they begin to slow, same tempo, and the greater the amount of hinging that will occur. Factors. A lob wedge will also work in this particular situation, but be sure to launch a very high, soft shot with much higher spin rate. A lower bounce rate of 5 to 10 degrees means be aware that the effectiveness decreases in certain situations. Helpful hints for hitting more chips 2 to 3 feet from the hole. Rapid backswing, which matches the acceleration in the forward swing, is required to hit this shot with perfection and spin. Never decelerate the forward swing into the impact area. The length of the backswing should be based on the length of the shot, and the length of the forward swing should match that of the backswing. Think of the rubber band stretching visual thought of shooting a rubber band and the length of backswing needed for the yardage required to the landing area. Hard pan or bare lies present another problem for most golfers. With the lack of cushion for the club, contact must be spot on. Play the ball further back in the stance. The pitch shot is more complex, so practice should also be a bit more focused as well. Higher spin rates than a normal wedge is required to stop and back up the golf ball upon landing on the green next to or behind the flagstick. Helpful drills to practice. 1. Poor lies drill. Focus on mental toughness and loft. This drill is the same as chipping. Set up a circle of office dots tees several feet onto the green. Practice carrying the ball to the circle. Work on tempo and length of backswing to control the carry distance. 2. Carry drill. Focus on trajectory and distance. Practice using the basic stroke from poor lies to gain confidence with making solid contact and to gain experience with the amount of rollout that can be expected. 3. Hold the finish drill. Focus on consistency and form. This drill helps to ensure that the face stays square to the target through impact. The player should hit the shot and then hold the position through the follow-through, making sure the club head does not pass the hands. 4. Double barrel drill. Focus on consistency. This one is a lot like the chipping drill, but with a larger landing zone. Hitting a pitch shot from 40, 30, and 20 yards out from the hole requires a final shot destination within 6 to 18 feet from the hole. Using office dots/tees once again, make a circle around the hole approximately 6 to 18 inches away. Thank you for watching Golf Fundamentals, Pitching Mechanics. Please contact Jeff Hilwig with your thoughts and any questions concerning a simple pitch shot. And be sure to keep an eye out for the other Golf Fundamentals videos in the series containing 12 episodes.